Alright, part 3, chapter 21, Relationship with Destiny is a place to share and care. Day 3. Your outcome, measurable enhancement of the quality of personal relationships, deepening with emotional connection with people you care about, with reviewing 6 fundamental successful relationships. Success is worthless if we don't have someone to share with. Indeed, our most desired human emotion with the connection with our soul. Throughout this book, we've talked consistently about the impact relationship shaping character, values, beliefs, qualities of our lives, Specifically, today's exercise is designed simply to remind you of the 6 key points of the valuable to any relationship. Let's briefly review them before I give you the assignment today. 1. If you don't know the values or the rules of the people whom you share a relationship, you should prepare for pain. People can love each other, but for whatever reason, consistently break with the rules of someone they care about. But they are going to upset and stress on a relationship. But remember that every upset you ever another human being had rules upset. When people become intimately involved, then inevitably some of the rules will clash. By knowing personal rules, you can head off these challenges in advance. 2. Some of the biggest challenges of the relationship come in the fact that most people enter the relationship in order to get something. Are they trying to find someone who's going to make them feel good? In reality, the one-way relationship will last. So see if the relationship has a place that you can go to give and a place you go to take. 3. Like anything else, life, in order the relationship to be nurtured, with certain things to look for and look out for. There's certain warning signals within the relationship that can flag you with the need to tackle the problem immediately before it gets out of hand. In her book, To How to Make Love All the Time, my friend Dr. Barbara DeAngelis identified with the 4 pernicious phases that kill a relationship. By identifying them, we immediately intervene and eliminate problems before they balloon in destructive patterns that threaten the relationship either. Stage 1, resistance. The first phase of the challenge of the relationship is beginning to feel the resistance. Virtually anyone who has ever been in a relationship has had times where they felt resistance towards something their partner said or did. Relate resistance occurs when the exemption of the feeling annoyed or a bit separated from this person. Maybe at the party they tell a joke with the brothers and you and wish they hadn't. The challenge, of course, of most people to communicate when they're feeling sense of resistance, and the result of this emotion continues to grow until it becomes stage 2, resentment. The resistance is not handled with the growth into the resentment. Now you're not just annoyed, you're angry with your partner when they begin to separate yourself from them and erect an emotional barrier. The resentment is destroyed by the human emotion of intimacy. This destructive pattern within a relationship is unchecked or only gains speed, but does not transform or communicate and turns into stage 3, rejection. This is the point where you have so much resentment built up at the time with yourself looking for ways to make your partner wrong. 2. Verbally, non-verbally attack them. In this phase, they begin to see everything you do is irritating and annoying. If there's no emotional separation occurs, it's that not only emotional separation occurs, but the physical separation as well. Rejection is allowed to continue to lessen our pain. We move to stage 4, repression. When you're tired of coping with anger that comes with the rejection phase, you try to reduce your pain with creating emotional numbness. To avoid feeling any of the pain, you must avoid the passion and excitement. This is the most dangerous phase of the relationship because at this point, with which lovers become roommates, no one else knows the couple has any of the problems because they never fight, but there's no relationship to have. The key to the preventing the 4 R's. The answer is simple. Communicate clearly up front. Make sure the rules are known that can be met, but to avoid blowing in things with the proportion, transformational vocabulary, talking in terms of the preference. Instead of saying I can't stand and what you do that, and say I'd prefer you do this instead. To develop the pattern interrupt with the type of the argument where you can't even remember what it is about anymore, only that you've got to win. Making a relationship one of the highest priorities in your life. Otherwise, you will take the back seat with any of all other things with the urgent happenings during the day. Gradually, the level of emotional intensity, passion will drift away. We do not want to lose the powers of ourselves, powers of a relationship, because we've got caught up in love. Familiarity will habituate. We let negligent, habituated use of the intense excitement and passion we have for a person. 5. One of the most important patterns of the Becky and I discover the critical making of the relationship to last is focus each day with the making it better rather than focusing on what may happen in the end. We must remember whatever we focus will experience with constantly focus with our fear of the relationship being over. We'll be doing things unconsciously to sabotage that we can extract ourselves before we get untwined with true pain results. A corollary principle that if you want a relationship to last, never, ever threaten your relationship itself. In other words, don't oversay. If you do that, I'm leaving, just making a statement alone with the greatest possibility, including destabilizing fear in both partners. Every couple with ever interviewed lasting relationship has made it their rule, no matter how angry or how hurt they felt, never to question whether or not the relationship would last, never to were threatened to leave it. Just remember a racing school metaphor with a skid car and the wall. You want to focus where you want to go, relationships, not where you fear. 6. Each day you reassociate to what love of the person of the relationship to reinforce your feelings of connection, renew your feelings of the intimacy and attraction with consistently asking the person the question, how do I get so lucky to have you in my life? Because fully associated to the privilege of sharing your life with a person, the feel of the pleasure, intensely, continuously anchoring it tuned to your nervous system, engaging in the never-ending quest to find new ways to surprise each other. If you don't, habituation will set in. You will take each other for granted, so find and create those special moments that can make relationships a role model once it's legendary. In a full heart, there is room for everything. In an empty heart, there's room for nothing. Antonio Porcia. Today's assignment: take the time to talk with a significant other. Find out what the most important to each of you in a relationship, over the highest value of the relationship together. What has happened? Do you feel like those values are being fulfilled? 2. Decide the most important for you to be loved than to be right. It should be ever find yourself in a position insisting that you're right, breaking your own patterns up, and immediately going to come back with a discussion later when you're better able to resolve your conflicts. Develop a pattern, interrupt with both, agree with these things with the most heated within this, so that no matter how mad you are, for at least the moment, to smile with less get upset, but to make easier both for you the most bizarre, humorous pattern, interrupt you can devise, make it a private joke that you can serve as a personal anchor. For when you feel resistance, communicate with a softener such as, I know it's only my idiosyncrasy, but when you do that, it makes me tad peckish. 5. Plan a regular date night together, preferably once a week at a minimum of 2 times a month. Take turns of surprising your partner, dreaming the most romantic, fun things to do. 6. Make sure you're good 180 seconds wet kiss every day. There are only assignments for the day. Act upon them and enjoy. I promise you the wars are miserable to make. Sure the commit constant, never-ending improvement of can I on display daily basis. Less to develop an enjoyable plan of creating your Chapter 22, Financial Destiny, Small Steps to a Small or Larger Fortune, Day 4.